Bonjour YouTube. Bienvenue. Bienvenue sur cette nouvelle VOD de Metal Gear Solid V de Phantom Pain. Aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour aller niquer sa mère à Skullface. On va aller l'attraper par le callback et lui remonter les bretelles. Et lui dire ses 4 vérités. Il va voir le fond de notre pensée. Essayer de trouver des réponses finalement sur toutes les questions qu'on a. Et essayer de comprendre mieux ce qui se passe. Voilà. Mahogany plus 450 séries de visionnage atteintes. Mahogany actuellement sur une série de 30 visionnages. D'accord. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Bravo à toi, merci. Qu'est-ce que je voulais dire? Ok. J'ai installé un mode. Déjà j'ai joué un petit peu hier et aujourd'hui de mon côté pour faire du recrutement. J'ai recruté des soldats, notamment des soldates, histoire de gonfler un peu les rangs. Et j'ai installé un mode très important qui s'appelle Infinite Heaven, qui est un mode qui permet de manipuler le script du jeu. Et j'ai modifié quelques petites choses. Et notamment, j'ai réactivé un truc, des events. Donc il va y avoir des petits happenings. Parfois, ça peut aller de mon hélicoptère qui se crash à une attaque de skulls, en passant par une invasion de zombies sur la Mother Base. Voilà. Nous ne sommes à l'abri de rien, les amis. Rin ne peut nous sauver. Voilà. Donc il peut nous arriver des merdes à n'importe quel moment. J'ai aussi mis des patrouilles de véhicules sur les maps, notamment d'hélicoptères et de blindés. Bref, je me suis un peu monté la difficulté. Et j'ai aussi un peu de cheat sur les containers de ressources. Je me suis augmenté un peu la quantité de ressources obtenues parce que ça donne pas beaucoup et on en a tout le temps besoin, donc voilà. L'hélicoptère qui se crache en faisant ah. Malheureusement non. Malheureusement c'est écran noir et fade in, t'es par terre avec un bras cassé. Mais c'est pas mal. Tu peux aussi avoir les comms qui marchent pas, donc t'as aucune équipe de soutien, tu peux rien te faire envoyer, t'es dans la merde. Voilà, je savais qu'elle allait tricher, oui. J'assume. Donc voilà les amis, c'est parti. Non, mauvaise fenêtre. Voilà. Et d'ailleurs, pour vous donner une idée, le menu, c'est ça. J'ai aussi fini... J'ai continué un peu le développement de la base. Voilà. J'en ai lancé d'autres. Histoire que ça progresse hors stream. Par contre... j'ai rien développé en termes d'armes et d'objets. J'ai juste laissé finir les trucs qui étaient déjà en cours, mais j'ai rien lancé de nouveau. Ah oui, et j'ai débloqué ça. Voilà, qui est une amélioration du Fulton. Parce que j'ai juste Fulton plein de gens. Donc je vais la lancer tout de suite parce que celle-là elle est importante. Tenue de combat, tenue parasite... Alors on a des cassettes. Ah. Ah ouais, on va devoir écouter des choses là. Alors c'est parti.
About the pathogen spreading through Mother Base. You've seen everything we've got on the outbreak. What's your opinion?
Textbook symptoms of vocal cord parasite infestation. And judging from this casualty list, it is the Kikongo strain, meaning a breed of parasite.
Alors préparez-vous parce que Code Talker il parle très lentement, il y a beaucoup de cassettes où il parle.
That triggers symptoms upon detecting pronunciation specific to Kikongo.
So our Kikongo-speaking staff are at risk.
Quite so.
He's right. All the victims do speak Kikongo.
So they can survive if they just use another language.
There is no guarantee. You're only dealing with the Kikongo strain. Other language strain.
Oui, c'est un indigène américain, oui. Il y a... On va en parler un peu plus tard, mais c'était un codebreaker de la CIA à l'époque.
Maybe present. You well know he was teaching them languages from all over the world.
The Devil's House. Nzoya Badia Bulu.
There is no way to know how many strains he has at his disposal.
So how do we keep them from becoming symptomatic? You mentioned using microbes.
Use this. A type of Wolbachia. Introduced to a sample of the parasite.
Wolbachia.
A parasitic bacteria that colonizes the parasites, turning male to female and preventing copulation. You must cultivate more. What have you done with the infected bodies?
Cremated.
Ah non, non, les parasites de cordes vocales, ils sont pas du tout dans les autres jeux, hein. C'est le seul jeu où ils sont là.
Spread of infection. But we did keep a few for study.
Good. Take this sample, grind it to a pulp, and introduce it to the larvae now nesting in the dead. The Wolbachia will multiply rapidly within those larvae.
They're soldiers, not some petri dish.
Conventional cultivation methods will take too long. Extract the Wolbachia from those larvae and vaccinate your men. Kikongo speakers first. This is the fastest, surest way. No one is to speak a word of Kikongo until the Wolbachia are safely inside them. I will instruct your medical staff in detail on site. You have the appropriate facilities.
Yes, but
do not worry. I made a pact with your bit de Holone on the honor of the Dene. I speak no lies.
keep an eye on him.
Will do. Follow me. I'll take you to the medical team.
Now, we must wait for the Wolbachia to multiply in the larvae.
How is the disease transmitted? If it's carried by insects or rodents, then...
There is no intermediate host.
So...
The vocal cord parasites lay their eggs in the larynx of the host. Most hatch and migrate to the lungs, but some are transported to the mouth through ciliary movement, mixing in with saliva.
Saliva. Droplet transmission.
Sneezing, coughing. Any food or water containing infected saliva. It would spread fast.
Indeed. And when the larvae migrate to the lungs, symptoms can resemble the early stages of a cold, making it easy to infect others.
Meaning a simple conversation would be enough to pass it on.
Alright, so what happens after the larvae migrate to the lungs?
It is as I said before. They mature by feeding on alveolar tissue. It is only then that noticeable symptoms appear in the host.
And by that point, it's too late. He's infected everyone else. It's one hell of a weapon you've created.
That is what Blag Anna wanted. Something that would spread easily.
Mettez vos masques.
In truth, he's not the reason. But we will discuss that another time.
The Wolbachia have multiplied. We're preparing to extract them and begin vaccinating. But is this really the only way? Sure, it'll prevent infection, but the cost...
You would rather remove their vocal cords?
No. Tactical communication's the linchpin of what we do.
What if we were to ban the use of Kikongo?
Insufficient. First, there's no guarantee that only the Kikongo strain is here. Second, there is the matter of how the parasites lay their eggs. Before they can copulate, they must be exposed to the pronunciation of a specific language for a period of time.
Merde.
About the pathogen.
C'est pas dans les autres jeux, mais c'est un moyen de refaire Fox Die. En fait. C'est Fox Die.
Not only the Kikongo strain is here. Second, there is the matter of how the parasites lay their eggs. Before they can copulate, they must be exposed to the pronunciation of a specific language for a period of time, like a container filling with water. But the duration between when the container is full and when the copulation actually begins varies from case to case. In other words, even if the infected stop speaking as a countermeasure, it may already be too late. The only true solution is to prevent copulation through the Wolbachia, or by physically removing the affected tissue.
Do any antiparasitics work?
It sounds as though you have already tried.
Yeah. We tried every one there is, and nothing.
I have yet to find a medicine that can remove the parasites. At best, it temporarily covers their ears.
Why is that?
Because the parasites are companions to us. To remove them inevitably harms the host.
Companions?
More than you think. And this is why the human immune system cannot eliminate them.
We've inoculated the staff with Wolbachia to keep them from becoming symptomatic.
That should also contain the infection.
How did this happen in the first place?
It has to have been a Cypher spy within our ranks.
If this is so, then why the Kikongo strain? If their intent was to wipe you out.
Skullface said the remaining English parasite was close to the boss. If this latest strain was his doing, he wouldn't have tipped his hand.
It is possible someone brought eggs onto the base. Without knowing. Stuck to their shoes, clothing.
Now, that makes the most sense to me.
Then where did the eggs come from?
You mentioned that your boss visited Nzoya Badiopulu.
Sure, but his gear's disinfected immediately upon return.
Then he was not the carrier.
And not just the boss. All staff dispatched to high-risk regions were quarantined on the flight back. When the symptoms first appeared, we checked and disinfected all equipment used up to that point. Any and all prisoners, soldiers, materials, and animals extracted during missions were also quarantined.
So, that just leaves...
I have seen children around here. Where are they from?
All over. Some were being held hostage at a mine. Then there were the troublemakers at Bwala Yamasa.
Bwala Yamasa?
Yeah.
Their clothes, their things. Did you burn them?
They're just kids. We couldn't. And besides, not one of them's shown symptoms.
The parasites don't infect prepubescent hosts. Their vocal cords are not fully developed.
Well, if infection doesn't occur in children...
It is possible they carried eggs on their clothes, and the infection spread from them.
Check the kid's stuff.
I doubt there is any trace left by now.
But if there is, some of those kids must be close to hitting puberty. How could we have missed this?
The name Bwala Yamasa got quite a reaction from you. I'm guessing the Kikongo strain was released in that village.
Cypher used that region to experiment with vocal cord parasite transmission. The Kikongo strain.
Bwala Yamasa, c'était le village avec le bateau échoué. Là, on a trouvé Eli.
Settlements around the refinery upstream of Bwala Yamasa were the proving grounds. They would infect one villager, then record transmission speed. Dangerous work. If they failed to contain the infection, it would slip into the surrounding regions.
At which point the world found out about the parasites, making them useless as a weapon. Incredible they'd risk such a thing.
The test site was densely populated too. A terrible place for such experiments. No doubt, they thought burning everything would wipe away all traces. The settlements were covered in oil anyway. Who would wonder if one day they caught fire? And so it did. They burned it all, living and dead.
Ça, c'est donc les cadavres brûlés qu'on a vus en chemin jusqu'à la raffinerie.
Those remains.
But they miscalculated. Transmission speed was far faster than anticipated. It may have been the temperature, or hygiene standards, or perhaps the parasites reacted quickly to Kikongo. Whatever the reason, nearly all villages were swiftly infected, and the settlements reduced to mounds of corpses. Making matters worse, the dry season was ending. When it came time to burn the village, the Moneni River had swelled. Many of the bodies were waterlogged.
Meaning they didn't burn completely.
The corpses still contained viable eggs, and the larvae washed downstream. And when the people downstream drank that water,
Let's go.
That marked the end for Bwala Yamasa.
I learned all of this at the mansion. I warned him of the risk of eggs getting out.
And?
We are prepared for any eventuality.
I get it. Putting the oil field back online. The oil leaks, saner. They plan to pollute the river, prevent the spread of infection.
But the oil flow was stopped, and downstream the people of Masa village started using the water again. The PF soldiers deployed at the village were locals, spoke Kikongo. They were infected, and the kids survived.
I've heard enough.
And who stopped the flow of oil?
Don't.
We did.
That confirms it. The source of the Kikongo strain infection was Masa village. And the children brought it here. It is no one's fault.
C'est pour ça qu'après il y avait plus d'adultes, il y avait que les enfants. Les adultes ils étaient déjà tous morts et il y a les enfants qui ont investi l'endroit.
There is no blame to be cast.
The parasites, they were tested in other regions?
Their physiology requires that they be tested under varied conditions. Another test site was in Afghanistan.
So it was the parasites there.
Both the Pashto and Tajik languages are spoken in the mountains of Afghanistan, and population density is low. Ideal testing grounds for how accurately the parasites target only the specified language. It is also relatively easy to prevent the spread of infection.
And the results?
The first test, I am told, was a success. Once the Pashtun Mujahideen were infected with the Pashto strain, they were all but wiped out.
The Hamid fighters at Smasei Fort.
It was doubly successful. No Tajik Mujahideen or Soviet soldiers became symptomatic.
So the parasites proved to be effective. What about the second test?
Also supposedly a success. A Pashtun village was the target. However, the original aim was to obtain samples of the infected. In this, they failed.
And the village?
The Soviets enacted a standard scorched earth operation.
That must have been the village where Malak lived, before being held captive at La Marjate Palace.
Having had more time to think on it, the details shared with me may have been false. They are madmen who would do anything to cover up the truth.
They certainly seem to like tossing their problems in the fire.
As a boy, Skullface's life went up in flames. Perhaps
Wolbachia stopped the infection all right, but I still don't get it. How can a few bacteria change males to females? I know they're only bugs, but...
It is not such a rare thing in the natural world. Many insects and nematodes are infected with Wolbachia.
But why?
They nest in the cell cytoplasm of the host, even in the egg cells, with the result that the offspring are born infected.
Mother-to-child transmission.
However, Wolbachia cannot nest in sperm because they do not have cytoplasm. So even a successful infection of a male ends after a single generation. This means the Wolbachia must resort to maximizing the population of infected females.
Sounds like an ethnic cleansing campaign on a tiny scale.
Gender change from male to female is their survival tactic.
So more females means more Wolbachia carriers, so it can keep thriving in the following generations.
But the parasites in a human host are supposed to be a mating pair. If there's no male, there'll be no offspring at all. It's killing itself.
Slow down. This tactic is intended for environments where a single male can copulate with multiple females. Originally, the Wolbachia did not infect the vocal cord parasites. I created a mutated strain, modifying the Wolbachia so that it could infect monogamous pairs. The Wolbachia's greatest multiplying tactic, the male-to-female change, worked against itself in the monogamous parasites. Just as you said. Then, I performed repeated selection of Wolbachia strains until I achieved 100% certainty of male-to-female conversion.
Creating female-female pairs, unable to reproduce.
Bravo les lesbiennes.
You say the Wolbachia affects the host of the host, that is, us, cutting off our means to reproduce?
It is almost certain. Of course, we will not turn female.
Dommage.
After all, mammals possess no natural gender-changing function. But some Wolbachia strains can cause cytoplasmic incompatibility in the host.
Is that some cell deformity?
Put simply, it means the altered sperm of infected males kill the female's egg on contact.
And that's happened to us?
Yes. And yet, what occurs in humans is not just simple CI.
Ça fait du sperme ovocide.
To date, there are no cases of Wolbachia affecting humans. The fact that this strain causes this effect, is it the vocal cord parasite's affinity with humans? I do not know enough to say for sure.
So the parasite warps the host. Reminds me of what Skullface said.
It is the way of all organisms to create their own optimal environment. Just look at you and this base. Organisms that cannot do this are doomed to extinction. The difference with parasites is that their environment is another organism. That creates a connection between life and life. Parasitism, symbiosis, or death. In this way, the host too is challenged to adapt.
Bon, on a parlé microbe, maintenant on va parler nucléaire.
About this OKB-0 Emmerich was talking about. Its location and features match the citadel in the mountains northeast of the Soviet base camp. Built during the time of Alexander the Great, it was left in ruins following one of Genghis Khan's campaigns. Its occupants changed time and again due to war, and it was expanded on more than one occasion. Ultimately, it fell into the hands of the Soviet philosophers. The Soviet army was using it as the headquarters of its Afghan invasion force. But it would seem that Skullface's connections with the philosophers gave him license to develop Sahelanthropus there. And that's what Emmerich was doing at the place, before he got the axe. But OKB is a designation the Soviets use for weapon design bureaus. There's no way they'd have one of those in Afghanistan. And in principle, the numbers that follow OKB are always integers above 1. There is no 0. Perhaps this was a secret facility of the Soviet and Chinese philosophers dating back prior to World War II. Though it's more likely Skullface just picked a fake name that more or less fit the Soviets' pattern. He doesn't go there often, but he sure as hell won't miss this. They use the heliport on top of the tower for his visits. Start by heading for the heliport, then wait for your chance to make contact with Skullface.
It seems Sahelanthropus' armor is made from depleted uranium. That offers some serious protection. The US military is planning on using it for its main battle tanks, too. Maybe that's where Emmerich got the technology.
Uranium? They're using nuclear fuel for armor now?
No. What they use for nuclear fuel is uranium-235, which is extracted from natural uranium. Depleted uranium is a byproduct of that process. Sort of like the leftovers, I guess. The garbage. Uranium-235 makes up 0.72% of natural uranium, whereas depleted uranium contains only 0.2%.
What are the benefits of using it for armor?
It's a pretty short list. Uranium's a heavy metal, like lead, meaning it can hold a greater amount of kinetic energy. But it also boasts a hardness closer to tungsten. That makes it an ideal material to use for, say, armor-piercing ammunition penetrators. But it's not the best choice for armor. Its volume is less than that of ceramics, but for an equal weight, you could end up with less protection.
So why use it then?
According to Emmerich, it came down to him being unable to source ceramics technology from a manufacturer. Plus, given that it's an upright walking vehicle, he wanted to reduce the bulk of certain areas. Despite all that, depleted uranium still makes for some tough armor, and Emmerich says it's been proven in live fire tests. It stops most Soviet tank shells.
Bonjour le raid. Bonjour les 62 personnes. Bonjour, merci. Merci Alice Rage. Bienvenue. Bienvenue. On écoute des cassettes avant d'aller casser la gueule aux méchants dans MGSV. J'espère que vous allez bien. J'espère que vous allez bien. J'espère que votre stream s'est bien passé. Ouh, ça n'arrive pas souvent, ça. Waouh, 62 personnes. Ouh. Oui, c'est celui avec la chanson de David Bowie, qui n'est pas chanté par David Bowie. Mais c'est celui-là. Bah, bienvenue, écoutez. Soyez les bienvenus, faites comme chez vous. Ici, on est bien. On est habituellement plutôt en petit comité, hein. On était 2 avant. On était 3 avant votre arrivée. Oui, je suis d'accord, Shina. Bowie le pédo, voilà. Hein. Celle de Metal Gear est mieux. Et celle de Nirvana est mieux aussi. Donc, les archers métalliques. Faut qu'on avance parce qu'elles sont longues les cassettes et on doit aller casser des gueules là. On vient seulement de commencer.
What are the metallic archaea?
Volcanic craters spewing sulfur. Water hot enough to boil your skin off. Ocean depths of 800 plus atmospheres. Wastelands radioactive enough to kill you where you stand. There are groups of organisms that survive despite. No. Because of living in such environments.
I've heard about them. Extremo... something.
Extrémophile.
Extremophiles.
Je connais.
Selecting certain species, then subculturing and repeatedly modifying them. I created a metallic offspring of pure archaea. They subsist on metals rather than organic matter.
Donc souvenez-vous, lundi c'est ce qu'on a vu faire rouiller l'hélicoptère en plein vol. Quand on s'est fait attaquer.
And some of them even consume uranium?
Yes. Uranium enrichment archaea metabolize only uranium-235. As a result, they produce weapons-grade enriched uranium.
How is that possible?
Non, les zombies c'est encore autre chose. Les zombies c'est pas les archers métalliques. C'est encore un autre truc.
How plants fractionate carbon isotopes when they conduct photosynthesis. Nature possesses abilities beyond our imagination.
So it was Archaea that brought down your chopper?
Corrosive archaea, yes. They oxidize metals, feeding off the energy in the electrons they receive. What became of the wreckage?
We had the R&D team retrieve samples for study in airtight plastic containers, of course.
Prudent. We shall extract archaea from it in good time. They should help you fight back against Blagana.
Any chance we could start now? It doesn't have to be a lot. I might just have another use for them.
If it's only a small amount you need.
That's fine. I'll get the R&D team to assist. Let's go.
South Africa was previously suspected of developing nuclear weapons. It already had a conspicuous presence at the UN because of apartheid and its armed expansionism. But when neighboring Angola and Mozambique became socialist countries in '74, South Africa felt hounded into a corner. So it accelerated its nuclear program to protect itself. 3 years later, the Soviets discovered a test facility, and 2 years after that, an American satellite observed a flash in the southern Indian Ocean. It said this was South Africa conducting a nuclear test with the help of a certain ally. Skullface used the situation in South Africa to get this ally to lend a hand. They both wanted nukes, so it was a mutually beneficial relationship. On the surface, anyway.
I figure South Africa started getting serious about nuclear weapons production in '75. In '74, the government was still able to get by with bluffing that it had a nuclear arsenal. But the year after, word spread that an independent armed group in the Caribbean was crushed by Cypher for possessing a WMD. That's right, boss. What happened to you and your men was the reason South Africa decided to push ahead with nuclear development. A force independent of any country getting its hands on a nuke. That was a threat to the existence of countries everywhere. It wasn't just South Africa. Your presence pushed a lot of countries to get nukes. The world was scared of you. You were a threat to more than just the Cold War. If nations are gears in a machine, you had the power to smash them loose and watch the whole world grind to a halt.
On a bien fait en tout cas de ne pas les écouter lundi soir parce que ça fait une demi-heure qu'on est dessus. Et la dernière sur les jambes de cette petite merde de Huey.
Emmerich uses externally powered legs of his own design. It's bionics technology, a product of the US military's failed attempt to develop a powered exoskeleton. All the wearer has to do is apply a little force, and the actuators continue the movement in that direction. But his legs are unique. Instead of using a hydraulic mechanism, the actuators run off metallic archaea. That increases the actuators.
Ah oui, il est encore vivant, Huey, oui. Il s'est juste fait torturer la dernière fois, mais il est vivant. Et Ocelot, il jouait avec lui. Mais non, il est vivant. Il développe toujours le Battle Gear.
Action speed and also enables him to lock and release the joints at will. The legs are an gadget, but they have two clear weaknesses. First, they're dependent on external power. Maybe because he built them knowing he couldn't leave his lab. There's no internal battery.
Oui, c'est vrai, il meurt beaucoup plus tard dans une piscine, oui. Il se suicide en essayant de tuer sa fille adoptive. Je sais plus si c'est sa fille adoptive ou si c'est sa fille d'un autre mariage.
That's why they won't work if they aren't plugged in. Second, and this is more than just a weakness, the legs are directly connected to his bones.
Haha, dégueulasse.
It could be to minimize signal loss and the orders output to the legs and the drive response from them. Either way, Emmerich has used bolts to attach load-bearing parts directly to his femurs, probably by mimicking surgical treatment for compound fractures.
Body horror.
But the end result is those legs and his body are fused together. And that appears to be how he's able to move them so precisely. But that also means that any shock to the legs would be delivered right to his bones by way of those bolts. The same is true if he encounters the corrosive metallic archaea. If the corrosive archaea ate into the exposed bolts, they'd reach the endoskeleton parts and eat through them too in the blink of an eye. The doctor's bones are full of holes to accommodate all the bolts. They're like sponges. If he were to lose the reinforcing parts, even the tiniest bit of force or weight would snap his bones. So when I dangled those corrosive metallic archaea in front of him, he realized straight away what would happen. Life wouldn't be worth living if he lost those legs of his. I'd bet that is what the doctor fears the most. I just helped him imagine what it would be like. Thanks to that, I got the information we needed without either of us getting hurt. You know how he is. He's probably already over the shock. The better you know your adversary, the easier it is for you to get information from them. And vice versa.
Il est très fort, Slot, il peut te faire déballer tout ce que t'as, sans te torturer, juste en te menaçant. En te menaçant très violemment. Bon les amis, on va aller niquer Skullface, c'est parti. On va garder cet équipement. Ouais. Attends. Oui, ok. Il est bien appris de Volgin, le bro. Volgin, il tapait. Sauf si c'est Solid Snake en face. Ah ah! Nouveau Fulton.
Plant expansion complete.
Let's go. Donc, je disais, nous y allons. Voilà. C'est parti. Ah, attends. Ah non, je l'ai pas fait. Bon, tant pis. Le développement qui s'est fini pendant la mission. Pendant les cassettes, ouais. Bah là, je pense que le deuxième, ce sera pendant la mission. Ah, je vois que 50 personnes se sont barrées pendant les cassettes. Merci à ceux qui sont restés. Toujours pas de vêtements pour Couillette. Non, j'ai vérifié, c'est un peu plus tard. C'est un peu plus tard, malheureusement. Oh, la musique!
The research facility Emmerich was talking about is north of the Soviet base. That's where Skullface is keeping Sahelanthropus before setting it loose in Afghanistan.
Il vous manquait Piquot qui chante, oui?
He's got nukes too.
Boss, we need to figure out what Skullface is up to. If you make contact with him, get him to talk. The ethnic cleansing parasites, Sahelanthropus.
Il y a tout le monde. Tout
Find
le
out
monde est
what
là.
his plans are.
Il y a tout mon crew. Let's go le crew. Ah bah parce qu'ils sont là pour faire leur vengeance finale, c'est la fin du jeu. Ils veulent tous assister à ça. Venger le Skullface. Donc ça c'est la fin du jeu, bah ouais. Là on va régler son compte à Skullface quoi. C'est ce qu'on voulait depuis le début.
Please select a deployment point.
Ça me fera toujours rire de l'écouter s'éloigner. Ah!
To isolate the facility, they first spread reports of a chemical weapon leak. The infection won't spread into the surrounding regions.
The map has been
Still,
updated.
I think they just exterminate the men who work with them all this time. Skullface must be making his final play.
Let's go, ils ont tué tous les soldats soviétiques.
development project has been. Please select a deployment point.
Ah oui, c'est parce que c'est la fin. Eh oui. Ah, je blaguais pas, hein, c'est vraiment la fin. Oui, bon, c'est un double Fulton.
Buddy has infiltrated and the map has been updated.
Ce sprint en mode gotta go fast. Ah, il me faut le treillis bleu. Pour être comme Boomy.
Eli snuck into the cargo on board the chopper. His idea of an escape attempt? Who can say? We'll think of how to deal with him later. Snake, do you read me? I know more than anyone about OKB-0 and Sahelanthropus. Boss, I've made up my mind. I want to be of use to you.
Bah, il était temps.
Not him. Let me work to pay for what I've done.
Trop de balles.
I'll prove it. That I've always been your ally. Boss, I'll be focused on coordinating backup here in Mother
C'est grand,
Base.
hein?
The chain of command is still in place. If you have orders, give them through Miller as usual.
Oh, l'enfer.
Skullface is in OKB-0. Start by making contact with him. The facility itself is under the control of XOF, Cypher's Strike Force. We have no hard data on their force strength,
On va se baigner.
so your judgment in the field will be key. Boss, we're finally here. Find Skullface and take everything from him.
On ne fait pas que confiance, Yui le traître. Tous mes maisonneux détestent Yui. Bon, c'est la plus grosse map du jeu. C'est aussi la map la plus difficile. Je vous laisse imaginer, hein, ça va être long et difficile. Mange ton cax, Yui. Ok, c'est parti.
XOF has occupied the facility. Skullface must be close.
Complete. Analysis complete.
Oh, il y a du monde. Ok. Je sais même pas si ça a marché. J'ai l'impression que non. Dans un gilet pare-balles.
Boss, get down.
Putain, déjà.
The enemy sniper. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Ok, on va aller doucement. Je me suis déjà fait niquer plein de fois à cette entrée. Je vais essayer de pas me faire détecter trop vite. Pas me faire détecter du tout, ça va être très compliqué. Vu l'endroit. Vu à quel point c'est rempli de monde. Et sans mode réflexe. Oui, oui. Quoi? Vous êtes sérieux? C'est dégueulasse. Je refuse.
Make contact with Skullface. Head for the silo at the facility's northern.
C'est vraiment injuste.
XOF has occupied the facility. Skullface must be close.
J'ai touché en dessous, je pense. Voilà. Voilà. Parce que ouais, il faut prendre en compte aussi la descente de la balle. Le projectile il reste pas droit, il finit par retomber. Ok. Il m'a vu dans cette obscurité alors que je bougeais pas. Et que j'étais allongé dans les hautes herbes. Ah bon. Soit quoi. Par contre ça m'énerve. Oh putain il l'a capté tout de suite. J'aurais mieux fait de fermer ma gueule. Allez, dors. Putain, y en a là-haut. Putain, il porte un casque. Ok, ok. On calme le jeu.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. You gotta extract him.
Ok, y a un mec qui arrive.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Allez, fais dodo. Putain, il y en a un autre qui arrive. C'est incroyable cette affaire-là.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Ok, on va passer par là. Évidemment, il fait un rapport. Et puis, il n'y a plus personne à la porte aussi.
Good work. 2 more gates to go.
Oh la vache. Ah, ils viennent nombreux.
Quiet as a silo. No sign of Skullface or his Goliath. Surely they can't already have... No, never mind.
Ok. La tempête de sable, on va bien en profiter. Hein. Putain de merde, j'ai plus de silencieux.
You gotta extract him.
Il va falloir que j'en commande un nouveau.
Shortly.
Lui là-haut, il m'énerve.
Extraction failed.
Ah. Il y a un gars qui est mort. Je vais embarquer le tank aussi parce que... Et ça... Parce que ça va clairement me foutre dans la merde. Parce que s'il y a alerte, j'appelle l'hélico. Et là... Ah putain, il y a des ressources là-haut. Je vais y aller. Parce que j'en ai vraiment besoin en fait. Comment je monte?
Enemy presence detected. The map
Ok,
has
il y a une
been
fissure.
updated. Extraction arrived at the mother base.
Ok, ok. Ça se passe bien pour le moment, ça se passe bien. Ça se passe super bien. Pour l'instant, on est PGM. Allez. On s'accroche, on lâche rien. Et on reste bon. Ok. J'ai récupéré le silencieux pour le sniper. Boum, allez, dans la bite. Ils vont revenir, ouais, j'ai pas l'impression. Je me sens qu'ils se sont mis en place. Allez, je vais faire un autre truc aussi. Ça, c'est le courant. C'est le générateur. Voilà. Boum, la lumière. C'est pas le seul générateur. Ok.
Boss, get down. That's an enemy gunship. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Est-ce que vous saviez qu'une seule salve de sa mitrailleuse peut couper un homme en deux? C'est réel. Non mais me vois pas. Ne me perçois pas! Arrête de me percevoir. Je te jure. Yes, c'est bon. Ah, il s'est réveillé lui. Ah, fais dodo. Ok. Elle est stressante cette mission.
You gotta extract him. CP, this is Delta 2. Search complete. No sign of hostiles. Over. This is CP. Understood. Stay alert. Don't let him get the drop on you. Out.
Ah ça, ils reviennent enfin. Putain, ils sont restés longtemps là-bas.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Ok. Oh, tu casses les couilles, tu pouvais pas te mettre à ciel ouvert. ça va bientôt être le matin.
Extract him.
Hop dans le bras. Je t'interdis de m'apercevoir, toi. Ok, on a fini la première cour. On va arriver à la plus difficile, la deuxième cour.
Coming to. Roger that.
Je suis dans un état de tension, vous imaginez même pas. Non, on monte l'échelle. Ok.
All right, you're through the second gate. Only one gate left. From here on in, you're in the enemy's headquarters. Something's wrong. But it has to be here.
Allez, tire! Putain. Ouais, elle a mis 3 heures à tirer. Est-ce que le face à 100% nous fait un prank? Tu penses? Il y a une caméra ici. Ah, un générateur en proximité. Oh putain. Je suis trop bête. Alors, si tu voulais bien arrêter de me percevoir, ça serait très cool, mec. C'est le bâtiment qui était gardé par la caméra. What the fuck, je suis vu par la caméra? Ok. Je mets en pause 5 minutes, je reviens.
What a thrill.
Pardon les jeunes, j'ai été prise d'une soudaine envie de faire caca. Alors... Donc, je m'étais faite repérer comme une conne. Ah merde. Bon, je vais attendre que ça se barre un peu. Ah putain, j'avais pas vu cette caméra de merde. Ouais, c'est le feu.
You gotta extract him.
Some will rise momentarily.
J'aimerais bien qu'ils me perdent. Idéalement.
Subject on board.
Ok, c'est bon.
Rest to us.
En vrai, on s'en fout parce qu'elle fait si sache que je vienne. Il sera là. Il sera là pour se faire niquer. Ok, ça se calme.
Detected. The map has been updated.
Le soleil s'est levé entre temps. Salut toi, tu te souviens de moi? Je t'ai endormi en arrivant dans cette cour. Ok.
Enemy
He's coming too. Roger that.
Et on arrive à la troisième cour.
updated.
Il y avait des ressources ici, j'ai envie des ressources quand même.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
To extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Non, non. Sors de là. Je crois qu'ils savent tout souche. Parfait.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected.
Ok, on est passé.
The map has been updated. Clouds approaching.
They stopped coming after you. His ride has arrived. Don't let Skullface get away. Stop him at the heliport.
The map has been updated.
Boss, can you see the heliport? Skullface is right there. Make contact with him and make him talk. We have to stop him before his plan is set in motion.
What the fuck? Jeez.
Sahelanthropus is somewhere inside there. First of all, make contact with Skullface. Don't kill him yet. We need him to talk first.
Ok. C'est parti. On va le niquer.
too have known loss. And that loss torments you still. You hope hatred might someday replace the pain. But it never goes away. It makes a man hideous, inside and out. Wouldn't you agree? We both are demons. Our humanity won't return. You, me, we've no place to run, nowhere to hide. And that is why I'll show you my demon. Follow me, big boss!
Just go along with him for now. We're ready to fight if it comes to that. That's our leverage against him, our deterrent. He doesn't want a war on his hands.
Non, ne le follow pas, Big Boss.
Whatever the novel
Il est cancelled.
with just one possible solution derived by Cypher, my will is different. I've known you since your time at Langley. I've long been the other side of your coin. 1964, Soviet territory. Fox's first mission. Any mess you made, I was there to clean up. You completed your task, and admirably. The information you returned was far more than enough to fill our pockets. With it, our futures became, more or less, set in stone.
Oui, il va faire son monologue de méchant. Et il va être très long, donc je vais aller à la toilette pendant ce temps.
Washington doesn't know how to spend money, he said. I'd like to redirect it. His goal was an organization dedicated solely, covertly, to supporting America. Cypher. You know the rest. To him, it was mourning the loss of his friend. Or rather, an act of revenge on the world, but America most of all. America is a country of liberty, a meeting of immigrants. Instead of simply assimilating, its citizens live alongside others. Their roots are varied, diverse. America's never been made up of just one people. But he tried to forge a single consciousness for it and from it. The idea that every citizen would use free will to unite behind their country. Unilateralism like that can't be entrusted to any one individual. So the Major sought a system that used information, words, to control the subconscious.
Ah, vous avez enlevé les cadavres que j'ai fait. Et c'est parti. Monsieur, vous êtes très proche. Il va être plus proche encore.
The Major thought this was his friend's room, but I think he never understood what she wanted. Before he ever walked or cried, even before he was born, his mother tongue was English. He doesn't know the pain of losing his own language. Not yet. He cannot understand her will. I do. I was born in a small village. I was still a child when we were raided by soldiers. Foreign soldiers. Torn from my elders, I was made to speak their language. With each new post, my masters changed, along with the words they made me speak. Words are peculiar. With each change, I changed too. My thoughts, personality, how I saw right and wrong. War changed me. And not only my visage. Words can kill. I was invaded by words, burrowing and breeding inside me. A philosopher once said, "It is no nation we inhabit, but a language." Make no mistake, our native tongue is our true fatherland. My fatherland. My truth was stolen from me. And so was my past. All that's left is the future. And mine is revenge. On those who bleach off the words of their fellow man. This is what I learned from the Major. And then it hit me. It was he who should feel my wrath. He and the code he chose as basis for control. Language codes, information codes, beamed all around us, genetic codes spanning history. By controlling the codes, Cipher Zero intends to unify the world. Codes implanted into our heads, sucking our minds dry as it spreads from one host to the next. A parasite upon this earth, that is what Zero is. As one born into this world, he's afflicted. I hold him responsible for killing my freedom. Killing all traces of my past. Killing any promise of a future. We are all but dead men forced to walk upon this earth. A world reduced to zero. Cipher plans to use its codes to control the world. They think they can. And the mother tongue of all those codes is ink. The word became flesh. The final parasite. It knows English. An English strain of the vocal parasite. I will exterminate the English language. With this, I'll rid the world of infestation. All men will
Ah bah ça c'est le Soviet Base Camp.
reclaim their past, present, and future. This is no ethnic cleanser. It is a liberator. To free the world from Zero. Let the world be. Sans lingua franca, the world will be torn asunder. And then it shall be free. People will suffer, of course. A phantom pain. The world will need a new common tongue. A language of nukes. My metal gears shall be the thread by which all countries are bound together in equality. No words will be needed. Every man will be forced to recognize his neighbor. People will swallow their pain. They will link lost hands. The world will become one. This war is peace. when the world witnesses Sahelanthropus, the hands of the doomsday clock will roll on, regardless of zero. Sahelanthropus will take the first giant step into a brave new world. It is the bell with which a world trodden upon by words declares its independence.
We are here.
Oui, c'était long comme trajet.
Remember the Alamo.
Metal Gear.
Je suis revenu quand ça redevenait intéressant. Quack! Comme le chien de Scully dans X-Files!
We're not the only demons in this world. Like you, vengeance is all he has. It's man's thirst for revenge that drives the times. Just as you live because of me, he lives because of you. Show him!
Problème. C'est l'heure du boss de fin, les amis. Il nous a traquenardisé. Non, j'ai pas de pistolet à eau. Et là, il n'y a pas de citerne ou de bassin.
Wait!
Ah. Ah.
Who is doing this? Such a lust for revenge? Who?
J'adore cette scène. La musique est folle. Oh la vache!
Metal Gear.
Ah, en effet. La scène qui suit a ma musique préférée de tout le jeu. Méga.
Mission list updated. Please specify a project. Please specify a project.
Ah. Parce que j'aurais bien besoin qu'elle utilise ça en vrai. Bon, c'est pas grave, on va faire autrement.
Commencing platform construction.
On va y aller, hein.
Weather will clear shortly. Please select a mission. Please select a mission. Unit dispatched. 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 Unit
Pendant qu'on y est, hein.
Unit dispatched. Please
Allez.
select a mission.
Sahelanthropus is on the move. The instruments on the support chopper are all malfunctioning. And Eli's acting strangely for some reason. Something's not right. Boss, for now, just get away from that thing. Hurry!
Alors... Bon, déjà, je veux un uniforme propre. En vrai, j'aime bien l'uniforme splitter. Il sert à rien, mais il est beau. Vas-y, on va prendre ça. Sélection d'équipement, alors... J'hésite. C'est mieux. Ok. Bien, c'est parti.
Deploying.
C'est parti pour la bagarre. J'espère le battre. Et je vous préviens, si je suis couvert de sang au-dessus, je déclenche la pluie. Ouais, j'ai changé le logo. Un petit peu.
Got a spike on the RWR. Strange PRF. What's wrong? Control lost. Can't maintain RPM. We're settling.
control. Ascending. Hey, Snake. There's something wrong with Eli.
Wait! Who is doing this? Such a lust for revenge? Who? Fall back! Fall back!
T'inquiète, tu vas avoir d'autres occasions de faire... Oh, et c'est parti. Fun fact, je trouve que ça aurait été logique qu'on découvre qu'ils puissent se mettre debout à ce moment-là. C'est pour ça que j'ai pas aimé mon intervention avant. Mais ça a été spoilé par une bande-annonce de toute façon, ce passage-là. Sa grosse bite là.
PRF anomaly. Quick is outbound. Reporting the AO for now.
All units, move in!
Ça va être la première fois qu'on voit un Metal Gear en situation de combat. Il peut couper un homme en deux, il peut couper un tank en deux. Let's go. cette musique-là. Une armée entière peut rien contre lui, du coup Snake va le battre en 1v1. Oh quel homme! Ah.
Cypher will rewrite the records, and I will vanish from human memory. But the thirst for revenge that I have planted will infest the system. No one can stop it now. Sahelanthropus will unleash that thirst unto the future. Major, I'm burning up!
Boss, get out of there!
Allez, discretos. Faut pas trop de bruit, mec. Quoi? Je vais te niquer!
If the world finds out about Sahelanthropus, Skullface will have won. His plans will become reality. He won't even need to use nukes. That thing's mere existence would be enough to enslave humanity to the fear of nuclear Armageddon. It would tear the world apart.
Mec, regarde devant toi! T'as des rétros pour ça. Remake de la scène de chasse entre la bagnole et le T-Rex, un peu. Allez, boss. Maintenant, il faut faire le travail. Coucou. Pour sa défense, il n'y a pas de rétro sur ces voitures, c'est vrai? Je croyais. Let's go! Ah!
Stop Sahelanthropus. Destroy that thing. I'll rally Diamond Dogs and provide backup.
La honte, il a une barre de vie. C'est tout! Wouhou! Il a dit la phrase. j'ai un lance-roquette vraiment abusé. Je suis pas censé lui faire autant de dégâts aussi facilement. Très mauvaise idée. Ah merde. Le mec il a vu 30 soldats se faire aplatir et il passe entre les jambes.
It's coming after ours. Take it out.
Et merde. Oh putain.
Already a backup chopper.
Ah, c'est le railgun. Oh putain. Let's go, c'est la victoire. Bon, ça s'est beaucoup mieux passé que prévu. Le lance-roquette est vraiment très très bon. Il y a une version difficile de cette mission. Petite chèvre. J'ai même pas pris de coup. Non, les chefs s'en sont sortis. Va bien, les chefs vont bien. Bon bah c'est l'heure de la conclusion. Il est cassé le truc, hein.
Snake!
Oh, c'est le geste qu'ils ont fait dans Ground Zeroes. OMG. Trop beau. Il y a un psychomantis derrière. Psychomantis qui chill derrière. Tranquille. Tranquille. Ok, c'est de ouf. Je crois que c'est la première fois que je fais cette scène de jour. Ah. Now t'appuies, oui. Ah mais je pense qu'il... Personne ne le voit, le... Je sais comment c'est. Le mec est dead. Il a pris cher, je pense, ouais. Ouais, il est encore vivant. Il est encore vivant.
There were three.
Where's the other?
Very close to you. Finish me. Kill me.
Sa douleur à lui, elle est pas fantôme. Non, le troisième, c'est pas Fox Die. Fox Die, ça a été créé par Naomi Hunter 20 ans plus tard. Let's go. Vengeance.
Do it yourself.
Ah bah vengeance des deux. Vengeance collective.
Mission complete, boss. Kill me. Kill me.
Ouais, il allait crever, mais c'est l'agonie aussi.
I did it. Revenge.
Va falloir qu'on le tue, Kaz. Bordel, Yui, tu gâches tout. Oui! Yui, c'est une merde! Quel trou de balle! Rang A, c'est tout? Voilà, on a fini le jeu! Bravo! Et oui, mais Yui va se charger de tuer Yui, c'est vrai. Vous prendrez bien un petit plan badass? Oh, Kaz, il était assis à côté de Coyote. Ouf. Lourd.
Anyone can give up his fight by laying down arms. But the feeling of holding a gun, that we'll never forget. Like our lost limbs. The sensation lingers.
Messieurs, je me suis pissé dessus. J'ai pissé du sang. Faites comme si vous ne voyez rien, s'il vous plaît, c'est gênant. C'est l'heure du goûter, les amis.
Here she comes! Here she comes!
Oh putain, qu'est-ce qu'il a fait? Toutou! Oula. Trimballe la tour Eiffel. Ah. Ah d'accord. Ok mec. Vu?
Metal Gear.
Apparemment personne n'était au courant. Oh la vache, ils sont dans son ombre et tout. Incroyable.
We hold our rifles in missing hands. We stand tall on missing legs. We stride forward on the bones of our fallen. Then, and only then, are we alive. This pain is ours, and no one else's. The secret weapon we wield, out of sight. We will be stronger than ever, for our peace. Sahelanthropus will unleash that thirst unto the future. Those were his last words.
Kaz.
Pretentious to the end. Still, doesn't feel like this is over. And I'll never be whole again.
Il existe environ 7700 langues différentes dans le monde, mais seulement 6 d'entre elles sont les langues officielles des Nations Unies. L'une d'elles est l'anglais, mais ah, ça va trop vite. Bravo! What's that kill? Non, c'est Heaven's Divide. Bref. Ah, c'est la fin! Oui. Never be game over! Uh-huh. Ça, Bah, ils ont l'air un peu bief. Ouais. Probablement aucune importance. Fun fact, James Moran qui fait la voix de Skullface fait aussi la voix du président Shinra dans FF7 Remake. On va me disait quelque chose. Moi, c'est quand j'ai joué à FF7 Remake, je l'ai entendu parler, j'étais mais c'est Skullface OMG. Oh, Mac et Crowd qui ont fait D-Dog, qui ont fait la motion capture, bravo à eux. Bravo les good boys. Ou girls. Les good doggos. Bravo. Ah. C'est l'heure du goûter, ouais. Allez, arrêtons la mascarade. C'est pas la fin du jeu. Vous pouvez maintenant développer ou détruire des armes nucléaires. Let's go! Défi désarmement d'armes nucléaires. Ça, je vous en reparlerai à la vraie fin du jeu. Parce que c'est la fin du online, ça. Oh, chapitre 2?
This man acted as accomplice to the attack on Mother Base.
Comment ça spoil tout?
Why are you here? Revenge against the boss.
I'm not like you.
I think it is time you knew.
I'll go alone. Boss, what are you...
We can't afford to lose anyone else.
What if she's a spy?
What if I'm a spy? Or you?
Kill her. What should we do, boss? Just give the order.
You're right.
Il y a deux chapitres.
Snake?
Comment ça passe? Oh là là. Oh là là. Vous trouviez que c'était tordu? Ça va l'être encore plus.
Attention! Diamond Dogs! Even with Skullface dead, our brothers are unavenged. And the phantom pain he brought us lives on. Cypher is still out there. We know they've planted spies, parasites among us.
Among us.
Watch the man to your left, to your right. Assume nothing. Report everything.
Let's go la parano.
It's the only way to protect ourselves. From here on out, you will be my eyes. The deadliest enemy's right here in our midst. And they will get no mercy.
Diamant chien. L'ennemi de l'intérieur, je connais, ça c'est le fascisme. Tu veux voir le fascisme? Regarde le fascisme.
Diamond Dogs needs to be bigger. Missions have come in too. We still have a long road ahead of us.
C'est le fascisme. Ouais, j'ai changé la couleur. Et alors attends. Elle est où cette plateforme? Coucou.
We're having Code Talker continue his parasite research. He's clearly very grateful to you. I'm sure he'll return the favor somehow.
Mais il y a 830 gars déjà. Alors, il y en a un peu plus maintenant. Il y en a 1113. Beaucoup de cassettes à écouter.
Please select some or set shortly.
Bon, et là on arrive dans la partie un peu moins... comment dire, un peu moins focus hein, du jeu. Pardon. Wesh. Alors c'est peut-être un bug avec les events que j'ai mis. Vache, ça tire à la DCA et tout, ils ont peur de rien. Allez Piquote, barre-toi. Je peux me servir d'aucune arme. Dépêche-toi. Vous êtes complètement fous les Diamond Dogs. Arrêtez. Je suis votre ami. C'est moi Big Boss, votre ami. Excusez-moi. Petit problème. Attendez. Attendez.
You can now give the order to develop or dispose of nuclear weapons from your iDroid. With a nuclear deterrent, even if you're discovered while infiltrating a rival PF's FOB, most PFs won't dare retaliate. But you, of all people, know how dangerous it can be to have nuclear weapons. So will you add nukes to our arsenal as a deterrent? Or will you take them away from other PFs and dispose of them to help build a world that's free of nuclear weapons? I'll leave that decision up to you.
Je vous donne un toit et vous me tirez dessus. C'est comme ça que vous me remerciez les Diamond Dogs. Donc, attendez une seconde. Hein. Euh... C'est où? Est-ce que c'est pas la voie d'avoir l'arme nucléaire qui a foutu la merde la première fois? Je sais pas ce que tu veux dire. Attendez, je cherche du coup. Mother Base Menu, voilà. Alors... Ok. Normalement c'est bon. Je vais essayer de retourner à la Mother Base quand même.
Please select a mission.
Juste pour voir
Mission accepted.
si c'est à nouveau la merde. Mais what the fuck, Office Depot qui veut me vendre de la crypto là. Allez les Diamond Dogs, soyez sympas. Ah. Ok, il y a direct un événement.
Stay back. It's too dangerous. Hey. Back up, kid. I said no. You have to stay back.
Some things can't be helped.
Back to your quarters.
Ils n'ont pas l'air très d'accord.
What's going on?
Shabani. Mayaka 9 Kingo ya Shabani.
It's down there.
Hey, the tank at the bottom is filled with chlorine disinfectant. One whiff and you'll suffocate.
Ah.
Don't even.
How could you let it fall down there anyway?
Pourquoi du désinfectant? Bah parce qu'ils font un nettoyage. Ah! complètement zinzine.
Hit the alarm! You go down there, and it is over. Boss! Hey, listen to me! There is no way to recover the body.
What kind of stunt was that? Trying to panic us.
Il respire pas pareil. Oui, c'est vrai. Il respire par la peau. Oula! Ah bah sa peau c'est son poumon donc ouais, elle a pris cher, ouais. Tu vois, t'aurais eu des vêtements. Miller, il est un petit peu autiste, je pense. Bon, je crois qu'on m'attaque pas. Ouais, c'est bon. J'ai réussi à faire en sorte de ne pas mourir. Miller dans sa jalousie. Je sais pas s'il est jaloux ou il se méfie juste. Échec de la mission de détruire les casques. Oui. Oh bah, elle va sortir de sa maison pour venir nous rejoindre.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drink!
Please select a mission.
On a swing!
Ah bah non, elle tient pas. Incroyable. Alors. Du coup, on peut prendre Didi, du coup? Oui. J'aimerais faire ceci. Capturer le chacal légendaire. Trouver et extraire les survivants de l'ancienne Mother Base. Ils se sont dispersés après l'attaque il y a 9 ans, mais traînent encore sur les champs de bataille.
Please select heading to Afghanistan.
On va lancer une quête très intéressante. Alors... Non, on va pas prendre Jean-Michel, on va garder Snake pour celle-là. Vous allez comprendre pourquoi après. Bon, du coup, Quiet, voilà. On prend D-Dog. Alors, je vais vous montrer ces tenues alternatives. Mais elles sont dégueulasses, donc je les prends pas. Voilà, je préfère naked.
Deploying.
Ouais, elles sont dégueulasses. J'ai jamais regardé s'il y avait pas des modes pour les modifier. À poil. Donc, il y a un soldat de la Mother Base, de l'ancienne Mother Base, qui a survécu. Et on va le retrouver. Et vous avez vu, c'est le numéro 1, il y en aura d'autres.
Like it doesn't exist!
Ah, Lost Coms. Donc voilà, on peut pas utiliser tout ce truc là. Ils sont chiants à attraper. Ah, t'en as déjà fait? Je trouve que ça va. Mais... Alors, on va écouter, hein.
Emmerich didn't go with depleted uranium for Sahelanthropus' armor because of its strength.
He had nukes in mind.
Exactly. It's meant to use its body as the fuel component for a nuclear weapon. Sahelanthropus uses built-in uranium enrichment archaea to melt its own body and extract uranium-235 from the depleted uranium in its armor. Those archaea perform the enrichment in an extremely short time. The concentration jumps by a factor of several hundred, from 0.2% to over 90%. The end result being highly enriched weapons-grade uranium. Sahelanthropus' body itself becomes a nuclear bomb. Emmerich says if it were to self-destruct, the nuclear yield would be somewhere in the region of 15 kilotons. Since you need about 50 kilograms of highly enriched uranium to trigger a nuclear reaction, that would mean Sahelanthropus contains something like 23 tons of depleted uranium.
Non, il est pas radioactif.
No, it isn't. That's about what you'd expect to find in a main battle tank's armor.
C'est ce qu'ils ont expliqué avant avec l'histoire des blindages à l'uranium. Dans la cassette de tout à l'heure.
Point is, it can be transported anywhere, even use its conventional weaponry on the battlefield, and the international community will never suspect a thing.
C'est de l'uranium appauvri.
I just received word from the R&D team and the transport team out of Afghanistan. They finished installing Sahelanthropus on the base. It's ours now.
All right. Don't let any of the staff touch that thing. Especially Emmerich.
Of course. That guy's crush on Sahelanthropus is beyond a joke. Guess he really wants to see his tech stand on its own two legs this time.
That's not gonna happen.
I know it. So you've got no plans to make it operational again?
Damn right.
Boss, I want to hear it straight from you.
Hear what?
What the hell do you want with that thing? The drive is busted. It's not like it has a nuke on board. Even if the metallic archaea could turn it into a nuclear weapon, all it can do is self-destruct. Sahelanthropus just isn't a weapon anymore. It'll draw unwanted attention without even being a deterrent.
I know.
The weapon's development strut sank 2 feet under that thing's wake. That's 1 year's drop in a single night. We've started on reinforcing the strut, but there's no guarantee it'll hold up if a storm hits.
I know that too.
Boss, why keep it?
It's a mark. Us Diamond Dogs, we don't have a country to call home. That means we have no past, nothing to prove that we lived. Every one of us threw it all away when we came here. Sahelanthropus is a symbol to show that the likes of us brought at least one crisis to its end.
A mark in history. So we can't just fade away.
It's of no practical use to us. But we still need it.
A symbol of what we've done. I'm glad I sounded you out on this. Snake, on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you.
I don't need gratitude. I need security. Keep Emmerich away from that thing.
Roger that.
That's the target. Is that one of our men from 9 years ago? Bring him home, boss.
Please select a landing zone.
Reviens me chercher. Bah... Il m'avait déposé où? Y'a rien de plus proche?
Please select a landing zone.
Ah bah oui, mais c'est Lost Coms. Oh putain. Non, on fera autrement. Non mais assume Snake, tu as le droit de juste aimer les gros robots. Hein. Tu devrais regarder Evangelion. Ah c'est bon.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Boss, come on back to base.
Alors tenez-vous prêts parce que ça c'est un truc que vous allez beaucoup voir. Hein. Beaucoup de... tu devrais rentrer. Il va y avoir beaucoup d'événements en fait. L'histoire a plutôt se développer à travers les missions. Quasiment plus. Il y a beaucoup de trucs qui se passent à la base, ouais. Mais quel petit con! Il m'énerve! Bah, vous avez vu? Il y a un ours dans le motif.
Sorry, boss. It's my fault. I should have been keeping an eye on them. I'll let you know if we learn something.
Welcome back, boss.
Thank you for stopping the infection.
Ça pleut. On peut pas... Attends. Il avait ça sur lui, le soldat.
You said that the nuke Skullface was trying to spread around the world were equipped with a failsafe. Something that could shut them down at will. His will.
Très mignon, toi.
After all, he needed a guarantee that a buyer wouldn't simply turn the weapons back on him.
So how can they be stopped?
The criticality trigger, that is, the detonator, is a complete black box design. Any attempt to dismantle it causes it to melt in seconds. Using the
Oh, par contre, j'ai envie qu'il fasse jour.
The design ensures that no detonation is possible unless he disengages the lock.
So he had a way to disengage it remotely.
Precisely. The client simply presses a button. At that moment, the detonator begins transmission with a surveillance satellite. The satellite reports to him how the client is trying to use the nuke. If he does not object, the lock is disengaged.
But if it's a risk to him in any way...
The detonator melts down. The same is true if detonation does not occur within a preset time after the lock is disengaged. The nuke is rendered useless.
Who the hell would buy something with strings attached like that?
The client would never know until the moment they actually try to use it. Most likely, he would have explained the time delay as the detonators needing time to activate. And he only intended to sell to technologically primitive groups in the first place.
Let me guess. He'd claim it was defective and offer a replacement. Shadier than a used car salesman.
Skullface shakes your hand like a friend, using the other to control you like a puppet. This is how he works.
Code talker. Haven't seen you eat a single thing since you got here. Let me guess. Photosynthesis?
Oh? What makes you say that?
Well, a long time ago, I knew someone with a similar ability.
Well, you are correct. Most of my body is covered with parasites. I supply them with water, and in return, I receive sugars they produce when exposed to light.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just my skin either. The parasites also act as my eyes. They have replaced many of my internal organs as well. It is thanks to them that I live on after over a century.
How did you obtain them anyway? Through your research?
I would like to say as much, but there is more to it than that. Let me take you back 20 years.
On va marcher. Hein.
I had hit a dead end with my parasite research. Then I was approached by a foundation. They said they had a sample of an unusual strain of parasite.
Which foundation?
Apparently, they had links to ARPA. But that is all I learned. I was somewhat ignorant of the ways of the world. Just being able to study it was enough for me.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Go on.
Half in doubt, I visited them to discover the body of an old man. Well, to be precise, his partial remains. A collection of parts, you could say. The man had died in an explosion.
An old man, you say?
His flesh had not decomposed. In fact, the tissue's cells were still metabolizing. The parasite had infected, or should I say assimilated with, the tissues, and was keeping them alive. I became obsessed with studying the body parts, foregoing food and even sleep. Every day was filled with new discoveries. The parasite's biology, internal anatomy, life cycle. But there was only so much I could learn through observation.
Oui.
So I made a decision. To truly know the parasites, I had to live with them.
So, you implanted them inside you from the dead man's flesh?
Correct. It was quite a gamble, whether or not they would adapt to me. But fortunately, it appears I was compatible with them. Or perhaps, through my many years of research, my immune system learned to tolerate them.
Were they that body's only parasite?
Yes. However, there was a separate specimen that supplied its host with adrenaline in response to pain, and yet another that could control insects at will through secreting heterogeneous pheromones. I wanted exposure to them, to take them into me, but my wishes were denied. Their records, though, provided clues that helped advance my research. Would you care to join me? A life spent never worrying about food is a most wonderful one.
I think I'll pass. But thanks. This has been helpful.
Ça c'est du timing.
You need combat support, boss? Just say the word.
Snake?
Posh. That's right. It's her. What about the bomb?
we were able to remove the explosives. Both of them.
Bomb!
No, it's okay.
There's another in my...
It's all right, we got it out.
There's another in my...
The guided tour will be wrapped up by the time you get home.
Make me proud.
By the time they leave, I'll have the IAEA praising us as the poster boys for world peace.
Je vous ai dit, il faut pas croire ce qu'on voit. On nous ment. Dans les images, on nous ment. On nous ment depuis le début d'MGSV.
Out.
Something's not right. Check her again.
Alors je vous préviens, ça va être assez crado, à nouveau. Mais plus métaphoriquement. Tu vas voir.
It's okay. The other bomb, we managed it.
L'explosion a quand même eu lieu, juste pas comme on croyait.
She hit the water hard, but somehow she managed to survive. Anyway, the shock triggered some kind of amnesia.
Snake? Where is Professor Galvez?
You mean?
Yeah. She still thinks it's 1974.
C'était le médic qui était à bord. Il était là aussi, il a pris l'explosion en pleine gueule. Mais on l'avait déjà vu.
She's got no memory of anything before that either. Cypher, the KGB, nothing.
It looks to be a kind of dissociative disorder. Dissociative amnesia, where memories are blocked out to protect the mind, and dissociative identity disorder, the whole personality changes. What we're seeing seems to be a combination of the two. She truly believes she's nothing more than a student living in 1974.
Peace Day was a lot of fun. I hope we can do it again.
She doesn't respond to anything that conflicts with her internal timeline. Doctor's pretty sure she's not faking it. If she had her memory, just think what she could tell us about Cypher.
Bah elle a trahi mais elle s'en rappelle pas. Elle croit à la fiction en fait.
From the old crew. I thought it might jog her memory, but no luck.
Elle est devenue le personnage.
Anything else you can show her?
Do you have something to show me, Snake?
I give up. She's all yours.
Got something to show me, Snake? This photo. It is from the other day, right? I like it a lot. I look kind of silly, but it's got a peaceful feel to it. Peace Day was a lot of fun. Everyone cheered at the end, even though I missed a few high notes. We should have more events like that, Snake. I'm sorry, Snake. My head hurts. Could you let me rest?
Bichette.
Skullface has finally burned out. The world is rid of his existence at last.
Was he still alive? You
Ça veut dire qu'elle a 34 ans là? Oui.
could say that. But you could also say he'd been dead for decades.
What's that supposed to mean?
Biologically speaking,
Complete.
it's hard to say how much was his life.
Side effects from the treatment?
No, the primary effect. Keeping a dying host alive as long as possible. That is the whole point. But in the end, he grew too dependent on his children. As if he had any other way to keep on living. He first underwent parasite therapy before the Soviet Union became his home. His body was horribly burned. Fire washed across his thin young frame and stole his skin and his throat, even his lungs. Only through repeated therapies could the parasites keep him alive. Most of his life became something the parasites gave to him.
And then he lost the ability to die.
That is correct. The parasites live on past the host's death, still aiding cell composition. At that stage, there is no way to extract them from the host cells. There is no way of knowing when the last cell of Skullface's body would die. The only choice was to burn the whole thing. And his children, along with it. And I am one to talk. When my life is snuffed out, I expect you to treat my body the same way. And when I burn, I will truly be one with my children for the first time. You say there were 3 English vocal parasites.
According to Skullface,
Yeah. Skullface had 2 of the English strain.
Oui, c'est pour ça qu'il voulait qu'on l'achève.
You burned both of them.
there was an oil fire. I tossed him in.
So that just leaves 1. And you tell me Skullface said he used it.
He said it was very close to me.
Very close. One of your comrades. Or someone ordered to kill you. Or he could have been speaking metaphorically.
Metaphorically?
Close to your spirit. Close to your heart. Someone who either loves you or despises.
Oui, il reste pas beaucoup de temps, donc on va aller chercher juste le soldat suivant de la Mother Base. On va continuer un peu la quête avec Paz.
Side ops list updated.
Sauf qu'il en a brûlé que 1, vu que Psychomantis ça m'a chopé un. Ouais, mais ça, eux, ils le savent pas. Il y a que nous qui sommes au courant.
Please select a landing zone. Heading to Afghanistan.
En vrai, je vais garder D-Dog, il est mieux pour ces missions-là.
Deploying.
Il est plus approprié à ces missions. Ouais. Ah bah voilà, crash d'hélico.
Support helicopter destroyed.
Bon, ça va. On s'est craché pas loin de là où on allait.
You say there were 3 English vocal parasites?
According to Skullface, yeah.
Skullface had 2 of the English strain with him. You burned both of them.
There was an oil fire. I tossed him in.
So that just leaves 1. And you tell me Skullface said he used it?
He said it was very close to me.
Very close. One of your comrades. Or someone ordered to kill you. Or he could have been speaking metaphorically.
Metaphorically?
Close to your spirit. Close to your heart. Someone who either loves you or despises you.
The second one makes a long list.
Whichever it is, act with caution. Skullface implanted someone with the English language strain. Who it is irrelevant.
Why?
I tell you what Skullface really meant. Very close to you means you will be exposed. All the infected here have been given the Wolbachia. Even if
du coup, j'ai pas ce matos là.
Parasites infect them now, they cannot reproduce. But if there's a different host among us, host to the English strain.
If that were the case, we'd see the symptoms.
What about the non-English speakers?
We have plenty of those, but the staff use English as a common language.
But if that someone has not spoken English yet, and begins to speak it now,
there'd be another outbreak.
The final mating pair of the English strain must be found immediately. Skullface is gone, but his threat still remains. On this base, do you see what the final mating pair is? With him dead, those parasites are the stain he wished to leave upon the world. His thirst for vengeance. In their flesh.
Roger.
Does anyone here bear a grudge?
He's coming too. Roger that.
Who would target you, specifically?
The ethnic cleansers that Code Talker mentioned, they weren't Skullface's true goal. All we have is circumstantial evidence, but here's my theory. It was Cypher who started developing the vocal cord parasites as bioweapons, parasitic weapons, and Africa was the testing ground for them. As Code Talker said, their purpose is the ethnic cleansing of only those who speak a particular language. So they could do a weapon of mass destruction to eradicate specific groups, races, ethnicities, or colonies by the language they speak. Or a kind of absolute language control. Or maybe a tool for those arrogant fools to build some misguided utopia. I can see plenty of uses for them. However, in practical terms, they wouldn't be as dangerous as you...
Qui pourrait prendre pour cible tout le monde. C'est un peu ce que Boss il disait quand il a dit la liste est longue des gens qui m'aiment pas.
Counteracting the parasites is easy, after all. Cut them out of your throat to save your life, or just don't talk. That also prevents the infection from spreading. So if the international community were to find out about them, they'd no longer be the threat they were conceived to be. In which case, their targets would be limited to minority groups, as a deterrent or a terrorist tool. It's hard to imagine Cypher developing something like that as a main weapon for their arsenal. That leads me to think we've only tugged on one little thread in Cypher's grand tapestry. An obscure corner of their work, possibly forgotten altogether.
Oh merde,
In
je
any
peux faire des
case,
glissades.
things changed. When Skullface was forced to relocate to Africa and he saw that thread dangling. All the time he continued that research, he was secretly following his own agenda. The ethnic liberator parasites. His English language strain. Skullface said there were only 3 samples of the English language strain parasite, and I think we can believe him. Bringing his ethnic liberator's plan to fruition depended on creating an English version of the vocal cord parasites at all costs. but an English strain would have been useless to cipher. Worse, it could have destroyed everything they'd built. It was the one type they couldn't allow. That means Skullface was forced to develop his English strain out of sight of Cypher's network. Naturally, he couldn't use the greenhouse facility Cypher had set up and filled with guinea pigs. Skullface must have found some secret place to create his precious few English parasites, hiding all evidence like a man cheating on his wife. Somewhere, an entirely standalone environment. And when his plan entered its final phase, he must have made the place disappear. Some little room, could be anywhere, but now nowhere at all. We'll never know where he did it, but to elude Cypher's surveillance, it couldn't have been big. I believe Skullface was telling the truth. There were only ever 3 samples of the English language strain. Why activate Sahelanthropus in Afghanistan? This is how Skullface wanted things to play out. The Soviet Union secretly develops a new type of nuclear weapon and successfully deploys it in Afghanistan. Revealing the existence of Sahelanthropus results in a return to the glory days of the Cold War. The threat it poses reignites the nuclear arms race between the world's major powers. The demand for nuclear weapons increases around the globe. What if you then introduced a nuclear weapon anyone could get their hands on? Non-nuclear nations, militant groups of all shapes and sizes, they'd all jump at the chance. Sahelanthropus was a marketing tool to sell nukes all around the world. But I think it's safe to say that plan was stamped out before it got up and running. The world's intelligence agencies never did turn up anything conclusive on it. After all, Sahelanthropus vanished before word could spread. Everything that's happened is already a fading memory, never to join the pages of history. Except for Cypher. Cypher won't forget. They'll already be working on something, quietly, beneath the surface. They'll use the pieces of data scraped together from this incident to build their own bipedal weapon. It'll take them a long time to complete it, but for now, the Green Sector have found their new life's work. We'll have to be ready too.
Departing!
Nice.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Side ops list updated. Staff assigned.
Oh, 12 minutes. Ok.
Please select a mission.
On va vite aller
Mission
voir
accepted.
Paz à la plateforme médicale
Heading to Mother
et lui
Base.
montrer la photo. « 100%, il y a un event qui se lance. Mais c'était sûr!
Ngezaba, tatana mono, intangu yandi ibandaka ke salana min.
Geke salaka, tatanange mingi.
Ah, eli lolula mono, muzolaka vekutuba.
Ukizina unge bingi laka mono. Ukizina unge bingi laka mono.
Hey, Tepe, Eli, what's the matter? Fighting will get you nowhere, Eli. Cut it out, kid. That ain't a toy. Eli.
Don't call me that!
Let's go, CQC. Ça c'est un move de Quiet ça.
I'm not a kid. You hear me?
Enough.
Le trope de l'enfant qui dit qu'il est pas un enfant, ça m'énerve. C'est un truc que je déteste. Vas-y, Aslot. Mets le minable. Allez. En vrai, Chico, ça me gêne moins parce que Chico, il est gentil, il est sympathique, tu vois. Il a juste un espèce de petit complexe, alors que lui, c'est vraiment un sale petit con. Soit il a pas le temps. Snake qui a gardé tout ça, il a rien fait.
Battlefield, they use one another's nom de guerre. But here, we insist they use their real names. Well, that hasn't sat too well with Eli. Or should I say, Unyoka Ya Mbempe. He thinks his boys are letting us grown-ups walk all over him.
Il a l'air sincèrement triste, Slot. Attends, viens me faire des bisous. Coucou.
That's enough.
Give it a rest.
C'est le fils perdu de Slot, hein, peut-être, hein.
Go for them.
Joue avec moi. Joue avec moi, Slot.
Give it a rest.
Papa, regarde, je crotte comme je cours vite, papa. Si.
Go for them, not me.
Joue avec moi.
That's enough. This isn't the time.
L'animation de Snake quand il se fait repousser, je la trouve trop mignonne.
Give it a rest.
Enfin, Oslot, laisse-le slow view. Oslot immunisé au flashball. Oui. Le mec est trop fort. J'ai envie de revenir avec un fusil à pompe. Allez, on prend la bagnole parce que là, on n'a pas beaucoup de temps. Ouais, si, tu vois, il y a des rétroviseurs. Le lance-roquette étourdissant, oui. Avec la roquette en caoutchouc. Ah, il y a des rétroviseurs, même que dans Ground Zeroes, on a vu Skullface regarder dedans. Et c'est les mêmes, hein. C'est les mêmes dans Ground Zeroes. Vous avez de la chance, madame.
Boss,
Welcome back.
Oh, Snake!
Tu peux tomber de la plateforme? Bah je vais vous montrer.
What is it, Snake?
Tu veux dire avec la bagnole ou sans?
Remember Professor Galvez on his instrument during Peace Day? Woo-wee-oo. Such a funny sound for a musical instrument. He said the Soviets invented it. Everyone sure seemed impressed. Music has no borders. The professor taught me that. Where's Professor Galvez anyway?
Il joue à cache-cache.
I'm sorry, Snake. My head hurts. Could you let me rest?
Bien sûr. Les deux.
There is going to be a kind of festival held on Mother Base. They are calling it Peace Day.
Vous vous souvenez du journal de Edgy Paz?
Snake and his men may be without a nation, but they are still an army. And that means sometimes they have to fight the bad guys. Of course, they should not fight at all. It is obvious to me that any problem can be solved with reasonable discussion. Maybe Snake and the others think so too.
Non, c'est Wims qui passe.
To set aside war for one day a year and relax in peace. I do not know how it came about, but apparently Snake and Miller got the idea while they were talking. And everyone on Mother Base went along with it. To think that deep down they all share a love of peace, that makes me happy. But never mind that. Somehow I have ended up singing on stage. Miller was all, "Come on, both our names mean peace. It will be great." Why does that mean we have to be in a band? Then he roped Professor Galvez in too, saying, "Hey, Galvez comes from peace too. We are the perfect act." I am not sure Miller really understands the origins of the name Galvez. But then again, you always have to take Miller's talk with a grain of salt. What I cannot believe is he went and told everyone we'd be performing together without even asking my opinion. Now everyone thinks it has all been decided. I like to sing, but I have never had to perform in front of a crowd. I do not think I'm up to this. But everyone seems to be looking forward to it. I guess I would hate to let them down. And anything is better than letting Miller sing. Oh, that was mean. Miller said he was going to write a song for us. I wonder what it will be like. It is funny. The more nervous I get, the more I find myself looking forward to it.
Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti, pied au plancher! Oui, on peut.
Snake, are you okay?
Snake! Est-ce que ça va, Snake? Bof. Vu ce que je viens de faire, bof. Et alors, tu demandais les deux. Est-ce qu'on peut le faire sans bagnole? Yahoo! Oui. Pas à survécu à ça, 2 fois. C'est vrai. Peut-être Snake ne sait plus nager. C'est pas impossible. Surtout depuis qu'il est assez lourdement handicapé. On rappelle hein, quand même, il a eu des sacrés dégâts neurologiques. Hein, Il est pas bien médicalement parlant, Snake. Oui, bon, on l'a déjà entendu le journal. Pushing down!
Plant expansion complete.
Très belle couleur. En jaune. Là. Je peux pas changer le... Silencieux, c'est pas grave. Je vais au moins changer la couleur, comme ça il sera moins dégueulasse. Voilà. Pourquoi j'utilise pas ça? Le burk-off il est automatique. Beaucoup mieux. Voilà. Ça avance. Ça avance.
Staff assigned.
Allez, on va s'arrêter là pour aujourd'hui. Merci les petits amis, merci YouTube d'avoir suivi cette VOD. J'espère qu'elle vous a plu. Si vous avez aimé la vidéo, aimez la vidéo. Si vous avez aimé la vidéo, laissez un commentaire sous la vidéo. Et si vous avez, par chance, aimé la vidéo, abonnez-vous à la vidéaste. Et on se voit à la prochaine vidéo. Salut!